When you're buying an investment property, there are so many things to consider. Greville Pabst of WBP Property Advisory has some great advice about what to look for when making your selection to get the best long-term capital growth.
Greville, you've brought us down here to Roseneath Street in Clifton Hill. Good spot for an investment property?
Well, Des, yes, Clifton Hill's a great suburb. It's only 5 k's from the CBD. It's a leafy suburb, but there are compromises. And as you mentioned, Roseneath Street, you know, it really is a feeder street, people getting onto Hoddle Street, so it can become very busy about 4 or 5 o'clock at night.
But if you didn't do your research, if you just lobbed here on a nice quiet Saturday and put your hand up at an auction, you might be disappointed then when you see what it's like trying to get tenants who want to live here.
Roseneath Street is still a good street and it's still going to perform. But the whole difference is, do you want a property that's going to perform at 5 or 6% capital growth per year? What I'm saying is you can do better and you can get something that can perform at 7, 8, 9%. The difference over 20 years might be hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So on Roseneath Street, what are the compromises you make, being quite a busy street?
There's some great properties there on Roseneath Street, but if you look down the western end of Roseneath Street, you can see some commercial type properties, and as you get closer to Hoddle Street, you've got the railway line, you've got the noise, those sorts of factors are the compromises, and certainly we would recommend to our clients that you don't buy south of Roseneath Street, because as you go further south, you're getting the freeway noise off the Eastern Freeway.
So what you're saying to me is there's better pockets to look for, that you won't have to make those sacrifices and will give you long-term better growth.
Well, the rub is, Des, is that you can pay the same price a couple of quieter streets back, but over the longer period, you'll get greater investment performance.
OK, Greville, we're about 100 metres further along Kiwa Street from Roseneath Street. This little row of terraces, is that the sort of thing you're talking about?
Definitely, Des, and you notice a difference straight away. It's quiet, and the good thing about Kiwa is that it's blocked off at the end. So these are the sorts of things that we look at when we're advising our clients into buying investment properties. So great continuity of architectural style and just great properties.
Now, when you assess a property, you must look at hundreds of properties, how many make the cut as far as fitting your criteria?
Look, there's only 5% of all properties are suitable for investment. And WBP Property Advisory, we only then select 1% of that 5%.
So it's a pretty strict criteria you apply.
It's a very strict criteria, but we do that for a reason, and that's because we want our clients to achieve 8, 9% capital growth per annum over a long period of time. And the difference of 2 or 3% can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And of course you're making these decisions at buying time, aren't you? You can't put it in a different spot later on. When you buy, that's the position you're in.
Exactly right. The best properties, Des, are not shiny, they're not new, they're not glamorous, they're not off the plan. They're generally this type of property are the types of properties that we would advise our clients to buy because they, in the longer term, perform much better.
So what are the main drivers? We're close to the city?
We're 5 kilometres to the city. You've got a quiet, leafy suburb here. You've got continuity of architectural style. Just ticks all of the boxes. Well, if you look at Ramsden Street, Des, it's a nice wide street. It's got the park down one end, and they're generally on bigger blocks in Ramsden Street, and the houses are generally bigger as well. Well, Melbourne is all about its villages, and we're in Spenceley Street, Clifton Hill, and directly behind us, Des, you can see the pub. There's a couple of nice little cafes, and then there's a railway station directly behind. And down this end of Spenceley Street, you've got the school. So it's all about those amenities, the transport that you can walk to, that makes this suburb so appealing.
So all of it, the common theme is educate yourself about the suburb you want to buy in.
Well, but in particular, not the suburb, but the particular property, because as I say, there's always compromises. So it's not just about buying the location, it's about investigating the property's, an individual property's performance.
So what are the other things you might be looking out for?
There's certainly, in Clifton Hill, a number of properties may have laneways down the side of them with windows facing or doors facing out to laneways. Now, we wouldn't recommend to our clients that you buy that type of property for privacy reasons and also for security reasons. And over time, they're just not going to perform as well as other properties.
Most streets seem to have a reserve or something, and then a lot of green spaces in Clifton Hill.
That's really important, Des, and some of those streets like O'Grady Street, Spenceley, Walker Street, all run down to the park, and it's this great amenity.
And the ones we obviously have to look out for are the ones that people use as a thoroughfare to cut off traffic from Punt Road or from those areas, Hoddle Street.
Those cut-through roads are a real trap. During the day, they might appear quiet, but you go down there at 4 or 5 o'clock at night, and it's like Burke Street.
Which ones are they?
Yambler Street and Grey Street, that feed off Tyranny Crescent in Abbotsford, and people are trying to avoid Hoddle Street to get up to Heidelberg Road.
Thanks for that, Greville. There you go. Maybe you're looking to buy an investment property in Clifton Hill. Just make sure you look at the right spots. And if you'd like to know more, go to our website, melbournepropertytv.com, and follow the links to WBP Property Advisory.